On this edition of Another View, we focus on Norfolk State University. Founded in 1935, right in the middle of the Great Depression, NSU is today the 10th largest historically black college and university in the country. Norfolk State is the home of the Spartans, has close to 7,000 students, 37 undergraduate degrees, 14 master's, and 2 doctoral degree programs. Today, we introduce you to the new leader of this institution of higher learning, Dr. Tony Atwater. What is his vision for Norfolk State? How will he integrate the university with the rest of Hampton Roads? What will be the legacy of the Atwater administration? I'm Barbara Ham-Lee, and Another View is next, right after the news from NPR.
Discussing the issues and celebrating the successes of the African American community. This is Another View.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Barbara Ham-Lee. Welcome to Another View. After an 18-month search, the NSU Board of Visitors selected Dr. Tony Atwater to be the 5th president of Norfolk State. He started his tenure about a month ago now, so he's pretty much had time to figure out where things are on campus. We're happy to introduce him to Hampton Roads in a forum unlike any other on radio or television, an hour to talk about the man, the institution, and the mission. Dr. Atwater, welcome to Another View.
Good afternoon, Barbara, and thanks for inviting me to Another View. I'm delighted to join you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited because I've heard such good things about your vision, and people seem to be very excited. And NSU, after a pretty long time, is probably looking forward to some stability now, huh?
Yes. Having the ability to come in and provide some strong leadership is something that I think will help our university be able to mature and advance further. A lot of people are not aware of this, but Norfolk State University is a relatively young institution in terms of colleges and universities. I've worked at some institutions that have been twice the age of NSU, 150 years, say. NSU is 75 years young, as I like to say, with capacity to mature and grow, and only 45 years of those 75 years has really been as a university. So the future is before us.
That's fantastic. And you are already touting the good things about it, because I made a little mistake in the beginning of the show saying that the institution is the 10th largest HBCU, but it's actually now the 5th largest.
Yes,
so
we're number 5 at about 7,000 students, and we're proud of that. And we anticipate growing more. We have some capacity to grow, and our hope is to have some managed growth over the next several years.
Put that in perspective with other HBCUs. HBCUs standing for historically black colleges and universities. So you have 7,000 as compared to...
I would say on average, historically black universities enrollments are approximately between 2,000 and 3,000 on average. So you can see that, with most historically black institutions ranging in that average area of 2,000 to 3,000, that having 7,000 students, why NSU is the 5th largest HBCU in America.
Let's find out about you first. And let me throw out the phone numbers before we go, because I know there are a lot of Spartans out there who want to have an opportunity to speak with you. You can give us a call at 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. The numbers again, 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Or you can also go to Facebook and look up Another View and send us a message there. So who is Dr. Tony Atwater?
Tony Atwater. I always like to say that I've had 4 lives. They say sometimes that cats have 9 lives. Well, this cat has had 4 lives, and I always like to say my first life was as a military brat. My dad was in the Air Force for 22 years and took the family with him to live in Europe and also in Japan, and that was an exciting part of my human development that I'll always take with me, growing up in foreign countries and being able to be exposed to the military culture. Never served in the military, but was a military brat. So that's life number one. Life number two was as a broadcast journalist.
And you gave it up to go into academia?
I worked as a broadcast journalist in Roanoke and also in Lynchburg. Served at WSET Television, an ABC affiliate station in Lynchburg, as a television reporter and assignment editor, and also worked some in Blacksburg as a radio TV specialist at Virginia Tech. And so my work as a broadcast journalist was my second life, and I found it very enjoyable and fulfilling. My third life was as a professor. I took my experience in broadcast journalism and media and studied graduate work at Michigan State University, entered the PhD program there in mass media and completed my PhD program and managed to stay on there as a faculty member. And so my third life was as a scholar, professor, in the mass media area, which I enjoyed very much and worked for some dozen years at Michigan State University as a professor in journalism and mass communication. Then my fourth life, is really been as when I took my career in the direction of higher education administration, and I took it in that direction with the express purpose of serving one day as a university president. And so I've done that, and this is my second presidency, and I think it's very important to be able to support students and help their development and just really be very student-centered and helping them achieve their dreams and capabilities. So the fourth life is the university president and senior administrator.
So when you were going through the process of applying, being vetted, etc., you obviously did your own homework about NSU. What were your first impressions, and what made you say, you know what, I could take this school to another level?
Well, my first impressions was that NSU had come a long way in a relatively short time. When you consider that it's been a university for some roughly 45 years, and you see the physical plant, that's a relatively modern physical plant. You see the degree programs at the undergraduate level and the graduate level, and also 3 doctorates, I might add. There has been a lot of progress in a relatively short span of time as a university. So that caught my attention. I think the dedication of the faculty and the quality of the faculty caught my attention. And the community and region in which it resides, the Hampton Roads region is an excellent region, for higher education partnerships. And I think those things really reached out to me. And then the students. Excellent students, and a lot of them working in media, radio, and also with a great newspaper, the Spartan Echo. And I just think that I had a contribution to be able to make to the university. I'm a man of faith, and I believe that I was put in this position for a reason. And my passion is to serve students and to help them be successful in completing their degrees.
Now, this is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that you're leading an HBCU. Do you think that there are special challenges, different types of challenges that you will face here as opposed to, say, at Indiana University in Pennsylvania?
Well, it's interesting that you should bring that up because one of my presidential initiatives relates to, I think, one of the unique things that I think that our young people are dealing with. HBCUs, most of them are challenged in terms of graduation rates. And I think one of the reasons that is the case is an area that I don't think that there has been a lot of focus on. And I think some of it is family constraints. Some of the family constraints and family challenges, of our young people have not really been dealt with head on. And as president, that's one of the things I really do want to take on. We know that financial concerns and financial burdens are one of the key reasons for students not attending college or not being able to complete college. We also know that in addition to the financial challenge, there also, is a challenge in terms of college readiness. But there has not been a whole lot of attention focused on this area of family constraints, that sometimes do affect our students. In some cases, our students are really the breadwinners in their family, and that sometimes divides their attention and also sometimes limits their outlook in terms of coming to a university.
So is that one of the reasons then, because, I went to college back in the dark ages, but but there was an expectation then that you graduated in 4 years. I read things now where people talk about 6-year graduation rates. So is that part of the reason why there's this extension?
I believe so. I really believe part of it is financial. I think another part of it is family constraints. If the family needs to have the contribution of a student working full-time, then it puts the student in a very challenging situation to choose between full-time work with the university as a student versus putting bread on the table for a family.
Do you have a different type of student now? I know that at one point NSU was an open enrollment school, and now there are academic minimums that must be met before you're accepted. Does that make for a different type of campus, a different type of student body?
That's a good question and a fair question. We still have a commitment to access. Access, is a major part of our culture and our mission at Norfolk State University. However, we want our students to be successful, and we need to make sure that when we bring in students that there is some degree of confidence that they will be able to be retained and complete their college degrees. One of the things I will say is I think one thing that's even worse than keeping students who are marginal out of the university is letting students who are underprepared into the university, taking their tuition dollars, and having them get no degree. In my opinion, that's the worst of the two evils. So
there is the community college push here in Virginia, in particular, with TCC and Thomas Nelson in our area, where kids are looking at taking courses there and then moving over to the four-year institution. They've had a big public relations campaign around it and so forth. Is that something that NSU is involved in, number one, and do you see a lot of students doing that?
Yes and yes. I think that community colleges have a very important role to play, and I will just say this, that I have a community college degree, an associate degree from Virginia Western Community College. I think that community colleges are very helpful in terms of dealing with the financial challenges that a lot of African American students face. They also play a special role in helping to strengthen their deficiencies in areas like math and science. So we will be working in partnership with community colleges in even a stronger way. I've had a meeting with Dr. Debbie DeCroce, who is president of Tidewater Community College, and we're going to roll up our sleeves and build an even stronger partnership between NSU and TCC in helping our students succeed. The bottom line here is educational attainment for our African American students and for all students that come to Norfolk State University. We want to see them succeed, and we want to see them overcome the deficits, whether it's financial deficit or whether it's college readiness deficit, because we need them to help our country continue to move forward. 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240, or check us out on Facebook at Another View and send us your questions for Dr. Atwater. I want to dispel a myth that I think a lot of people who are not familiar with HBCUs, and that myth is that if you are not African American, you cannot come to this school. That is indeed a myth, and our doors are open to any student, that wishes to apply, and meets our application standards. We welcome them, and we do have a historically black college and university mission, but we also are an institution that has particular strengths, in certain areas that we can talk about, and also we feel, that our audience and our market is wide open in Hampton Roads. I'll tell you a story. I was talking to a student recently who's a social work major at Tidewater Community College. He's not an African-American student. He has a 3.9 average, and he says he's coming to Norfolk State University. And, of course, my message to him was, we welcome you to Norfolk State University. Come and be a part of our academic family.
There are some people who say that we, the community, are wrong for even emphasizing the fact that a school is an HBCU. That they're, why do we have to put the designation, if you will? But there are some historical and some very real today reasons why. Can you expound on those?
Yes. Historically, black colleges and universities still play a very, very special role, in our society in terms of educating African American students and developing the leaders, the professionals, and the citizens, of tomorrow. It's a very important calling, and at Norfolk State University, that particular priority is going to continue to be a priority for us. But there are also other roles that we play, helping to educate society at large, about the history of African Americans and about the contributions that they are making and about the leadership role that they play or can play. These are also very much a part, of the mission of historically black colleges and universities today. And sometimes I don't think those other missions, the educational mission, the civic mission, the opportunity to develop leaders and business CEOs, those kind of things, are the things sometimes that we don't often find emphasized about HBCUs.
Now, you cannot run a university without the help and the cooperation of faculty and staff. The search process was probably something that the faculty was not exactly keen on in terms of the way that the process was done. But have you had a chance to sit down with them and to kind of start the coalition to working together?
I have had a meeting with some members of the executive committee of the Faculty Senate and had a chance to talk, I thought, very productively and candidly with them. Some representatives have told me that those discussions were positively received by other members of the faculty. Faculty members who I've met, have been very gracious, and very kind and very welcoming to me and also to my wife, Dr. Beverly Roberts Atwater. So I think we're going to have a very fine relationship. My feeling about the faculty is that they are the engine that drives the university. The important thing is for me to help them in doing what they do, to serve the students, and to be an academic leader that values their services and provides the support they need to be able to serve our students to the best that they can.
Okay. 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Red joins us from Virginia Beach. Hi, Red.
Oh, good afternoon, Mrs. Lee and Dr. Atwater.
Good afternoon.
I have one question, if you will.
Okay.
I'm interested in, I was in the mid-'90s, later '90s, I was a community volunteer at Norfolk State University. And you guys provided me with some great awards and appreciated my services. And I relocated out of the area, and I'm back, and I'm very interested in contacting a person as a former student to participate as a community volunteer in the university. Is that possible?
Absolutely. We welcome your participation, in working with our students and supporting the university community. I would refer you to Philip Adams, who is our Vice President for Development. And Philip, I think, is going to be able to, help you have the connection that you want to play. Alumni and corporate partners and also retired faculty are playing, a very valuable role in supporting the institution. And from my vantage point as president, we need all of the helpers, and supporters that we can have. We're an institution that's a growing institution. Dollars, to public higher education are not the strongest. I'll just share with you that roughly 35%, of our annual budget is paid for by the state. I emphasize 35% because there was a time when public universities were supported to the tune of 60-70% of their annual budgets. So we're having to entertain a host of partners and constituencies that can help us continue to make higher education a reality for many of whom, quite frankly, are challenged financially.
Thanks so much for the call, Red. We appreciate that. Let's expound a little bit on that. 35% of the funding comes from the state, yet you are a state institution.
That's correct, and many people are not aware of that. Some people believe that, when you have state in your name, that means that you're fully funded by the state. That is not the case. We appreciate the funding that we get, from the state, but 35% is 35%. As they say, it is what it is.
It is what it is. At NSU, there's a lot of new building going on. I noticed there's the new library. The bowling alley is coming back, I hear. Some other physical things. You, in your other presidency at IUP, also were involved in a lot of building on the campus itself. What do you foresee for the growth of NSU?
I like a campus to be modernized in terms of its physical plant, and I've had a chance to assess some of the building progress and building needs at Norfolk State University. On the needs side, I can tell you that I think there are some old buildings there that were built in the 1960s and 70s, and one of the things that I like to do as a president is to say that we need to renew the campus. It's almost like remodeling your home. When your home needs remodeling, or there's some appliance that needs to either be replaced, or have, some kind of rehabilitation done with it. The same thing for universities' physical plant. There's a need constantly to renew and upgrade. And we have some needs on our campus in that regard, and I will be working with the university community with our master plan and doing that. As far as the positive side goes, I just really am just excited about the kind of new construction that we have going on. We have a new library that will be opening in December. It's going to be a grand and glorious structure. We just opened a new student services center that is open and will be a one-stop operation for financial aid and registration and admission services. Fantastic resource for our students. And we also are looking forward to a brand new nursing building in 2013 to support our fabulous nursing program.
Okay. So are most of the students commuter, or do they stay, or are they residential
The great majority of our students are full-time students, and they do reside either on campus or near to the campus.
So are you looking at increasing that amount? I mean, with 7,000 students and the desire to continue to grow that number?
I think it's always going to be a balance, of full-time residential students and commuting part-time students. But I think our goal is to keep, a substantial percentage full-time residential students. I like to see a ratio of something like 70-30, or something along that lines, or where you have roughly 2/3 of your students, who are going to be residential. It has to do with the financial health of the institution, and also, I think, to some extent, the culture of the institution.
To actually have that college experience. 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Hi, Kathy. You're on the air.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Well, I'm a Norfolk State graduate. I am a white woman, and I absolutely love the experience. I went for my master's after not having been to college for many, many years. I went when I was in my mid-40s. I interviewed with other universities in the area, and I absolutely love Norfolk State. I love the fact that it was smaller classes, more individualized attention, and I had a wonderful experience. And I've taken other classes since, and I will go back. It's a wonderful experience for anyone, really. And as an older person, it was fantastic.
Wow, you can't ask for a better endorsement than that.
Well, thanks for your call and your endorsement, Kathy. And there are other students that we have who are Caucasian students who are having a rich experience. And I have to add this. We are diverse. HBCU. Sometimes there is not a mention of the diversity at HBCUs, but we are diverse. And when you look at our faculty, you will see diversity. When you look, at we have approximately 389 students who are Caucasian, and we have 84 students approximately who are Asian. We have American Indians. We have 403 other students who have not identified what race they belong to, but they could be a mix. But the point is that we're open for business to all students as a public university, and we welcome students of all races and religions and nationalities.
Kathy, thanks so much for the call. We appreciate it. One of the things that one of the major focuses right now is on STEM. Science, math, technology, and engineering. And is that something that Norfolk State is focusing on? Is the focus going to move more in that direction in terms of delivering African Americans into that field?
I'm pleased to say that Norfolk State has one of its programs of distinction being its College of Science, Engineering, and Technology. I like to have fun with that college because what they really are is they are a STEM college. Science, technology, engineering, and math is a hot item, in the world of academia and higher education these days. But we can say without equivocation that Norfolk State University has a STEM college and is one of the only institutions in the country to have such a STEM college that is productive in terms of federal grants and research, in terms of the curriculum, and also in terms of outreach, a host of outreach programs to high schools and elementary, junior high schools that, is really a marvel. I would say that, our STEM college is one of the signature programs of the institution, and I'm very proud of it. And a lot of the credit goes to the faculty and also to their marvelous dean, Dean Sandra DeLoach.
And she was just recently named the new provost, too, or interim provost.
Yes, and I'm delighted, that Dr. DeLoach is going to be a part of my team as the interim provost starting August the 10th. She's an excellent example of a tremendous teacher scholar, a tremendous academic leader, and someone who has a great heart for students.
You are listening to, if you're just joining us, Another View, and we're talking with Dr. Tony Atwater, the new president of Norfolk State University, and we are taking your calls at 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240, or you can also catch us on Facebook because right now all of our lines are full, Dr. Atwater, waiting to speak with you. So let's go to Phyllis in Yorktown. Hi, Phyllis.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm calling because I'm so glad to hear about the STEM program really being implemented. But I really wanted to know, is there a real priority on having a high technical infrastructure for the entire campus? Some of the reading I've been engaged in says that a representative amount of the learning that occurs at freshman level now is going to be obsolete by the time these young people get to be juniors. And so I'm wondering if there's a real high priority around having an infrastructure that is high-tech, where they're able to use all of the tools that are out here now and that are continually developing by the second.
Thank you, Phyllis, for that question. The answer is yes. One of the goals that I have as president is to strengthen the technology and instructional technology infrastructure of Norfolk State University. We have made some strides, but this is a continual issue. And sometimes people ask, why is higher education more expensive than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago? Informational technology and instructional technology has changed significantly and will continue to change at very rapid rates. I was talking just this morning with one of our illustrious alumni, Tim Reed, and many of you out there know Tim, and I remember him from WHRV Cincinnati, which is one of my favorite shows. But Tim had an iPad, and he was saying this gadget, is only been around, a year or so, and it's had already 3 lives to it. When you think about how rapidly technology changes, and how universities have to change with that technological change, rate of change. It's truly amazing, and it does come with a price tag. So yes, we will modernize and continue to upgrade our instructional technology infrastructure.
We'll take another call so we can let some other calls come through. Tom joins us from Norfolk. Hi, Tom.
Good afternoon, Barbara, and thank you.
Sure.
Dr. Atwater, welcome to the school by Virginia's Golden Shore. That's the first line of our alma mater, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm a proud 1981 grad of Norfolk State University. I'm a proud product also of the Mass Comm department. So it was great to hear that you were once in the media doing great work on television. What's your philosophy on the Mass Comm and journalism department at Norfolk State?
I believe that we have really fine faculty in the journalism and mass communication department at Norfolk State University, and I look forward to working with them and strengthening the curriculum and helping them serve the students even better. I believe that there's a lot of potential, for that department to grow. As I mentioned, Tim Reed is one of our illustrious alumni, and I think that he has a strong interest, in the field of media, and I believe has supported us. And I think the enthusiasm I saw today, it seems that he's going to continue to support us. And I just think that the future for journalism and mass comm at Norfolk State is very bright.
Thank you so much for your call, Tom. I hope so, because we want to keep keep us in this profession. I want to talk a little bit about student athletes for a moment. I know that there have been some challenges lately in terms of the academic performance rates, and so on the basketball team, for example. And so what are your plans to make sure that student athletes are shored up, that they are the student part becomes just as important, if not more important, than the athletic part?
First, let me say that the overwhelming majority of our student athletes, are really in pretty fine shape and academically, and I'm very proud of the strides that Norfolk State has made in terms of the caliber of our athletes. But for those students who you mentioned who need that work, I think that tutoring opportunities and peer mentoring opportunities are what's in order, and we're going to continue to focus on strengthening those. I had some discussion most recently with two leaders of our retired faculty group, and I can't think of a better use of their abilities and talents as retired faculty to come in and provide tutoring and support, for student athletes, and they seem to resonate to that, and I'm going to explore engaging them, in that cause.
Mm-hmm. So are you still actively recruiting a lot of students to play? I know the football team, there's a big rivalry amongst several schools, the Battle of the Bay, and when A&T comes up, there's always the excitement around football. Are you the big football fan, or will we see you more in the basketball stands?
I'm a big football fan, and I enjoy football a lot, and I know that Norfolk State has a very strong football tradition. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to the excitement and enthusiasm of game day and homecoming and football, and all I can say is go Spartans. I'll always be in the corner of whether it's football, basketball, and
now you're gonna have though some strong division of loyalties when the Battle of the Bay comes along, will you not?
Well, my alliances lie, with the Spartans. And as I said, I do have a Hampton connection, but when it comes to athletics, I am clearly rooting for the Spartans of NSU.
Okay. One of the things that I was most intrigued by in doing the research on you, Dr. Atwater, was something called Communiversity that you did at IUP, where you actively engaged the community with the university in terms of things such as parking, job creation, student housing, real drug abuse, real concrete things that were going on in the community. One of the criticisms of Norfolk State is that it's not as engaged in the community. So what do you plan to do something like that here?
Very definitely. When I talk about my external leadership role, that is really engaging our partners in the community to help Norfolk State be a stronger partner, in helping Hampton Roads improve, in terms of its culture, in terms of its economic development and so forth. And the way that you do that is by strategically engaging community partners outside the university. They see things, that we may not see. They see solutions that we may not see. They help us engage partners that can provide those solutions and help us, quite frankly, be a stronger partner. And so the communiversity concept is all about engaging external leaders and supporters outside the university and engaging them with leaders inside the university and identifying challenges that we have and opportunities that we can work on together for the betterment of Hampton Roads. There's a concept that sometimes is used for this, and it's called being a steward of place. Norfolk State University sees itself as being a steward of place. We reside in Norfolk, and because we reside in Norfolk, we need to be one of the partners that helps to take care of Norfolk. That's what being a steward of place is all about.
So that's what you're going to focus on. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty with our phones, but I'm going to read kind of the gist of what our callers want because they really do want some answers. Darnell gets in touch with us, and he wants to know, what plans do you have for students to be ready for the job market, better ready for the job market?
I plan to engage alumni and the corporate community more in terms of helping us identify opportunities for internships and co-op experiences for our students. I think career fairs are very useful. I believe it's very important to have the help of alumni and a core of business leaders with our programs, with our deans, department chairs, so that is really just an ongoing, regular process and dynamic. I think we have a lot of that going. I'd like to see it ramped up.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of alumni, a lot of times at a lot of universities, alumni are that other source that you kind of send out please send us your dollars, support your university and come back for homecoming, come back for graduation. But there's no real engagement. Is there something different that you plan?
I think you have to strategically engage alumni and build the structures for their participation and help. And they help us in so many ways. They help us in terms of generating spirit and pride. They help us in terms of remembering, the legacy of the institution. They help us in fundraising. They help us in connecting us to corporate partners, for internships. And they just help us in so many ways. And I really believe we have a strong core, of alumni in the community and throughout the country, and my role is to help galvanize their support and give them maybe a more coherent set of structures in which they can help the university.
Mm-hmm. Vincent had another question. He wanted to know about using online classes to increase diversity.
Online classes is an area that we need to make additional progress in, and we will. Mm-hmm. There is a need for us to develop and to offer more online programs at the undergraduate, and I would also say at the graduate level. It will be an investment that is needed to help us to increase in this area, but we are living in the advanced information age. That's what we call it in the communications field, and online education is really the name of the game. We need to be more stronger in this area, and it's an area that I will certainly invite the participation of the faculty and our new interim provost in helping us how to make that a stronger frontier. We are providing a good amount of online courses, mind you, but I, as president, am hungry for more online programs.
You have to balance your time between academia and fundraising, quite frankly, and that's part of your job. How do you see yourself being able to do that?
Well, that's a good question, and I think it's very important for today's university president to be an external leader as well as an internal leader. The issue becomes in terms of the ratio of internal to external, and I would say that the majority of my time as president of necessity needs to be external. I need to be about engaging partners that can support the university in so many ways, but there is the internal leadership role in terms of supporting the faculty, being involved with students and student organizations and supporting the the morale of the institution and the spirit of the institution, and creating institutional community. So I would have to say that that's one of the things that differentiates today's college president from 45 years ago or so. There used to be a time when a university president was primarily an educational leader and an advocate, but today it's really the CEO of the university. And I do emphasize the CEO of the university. You've got to take care of the business side, make sure that the fundraising, is coming in good order, making sure that the legislative contacts, are strong, and looking at federal appropriations that can advantage the university.
I think that a lot of times a lot of universities now really are moving more towards that business model, as opposed to, as you said, that education model.
Private institutions have been doing this for some time. I think it's the public universities that are just starting to come around to the notion that it really is the higher education business.
Okay. Christine joins us. Hi, Christine. Where are you calling from?
From Hampton.
Okay. What's your question?
Oh, well, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I'm a non-traditional student returning back to college after 10 years, and I grew up in Hampton, so I'm local, and I'm also an American Indian, so I wanted to mention the ethnicity there. But one thing I wanted to mention was I had decided to go back to college 3 years ago for nutrition and dietetics, food science, and y'all had discontinued the program that you had at that time, so I went west to North Carolina to be educated in that program there, and you guys reissued the food science program, so I immediately rushed back home and applied to hopefully be engaging this fall. But I just wanted to make mention, you guys are the only college east of Roanoke Rapids that offers a program in nutrition, and with nutrition becoming, more in the limelight as far as public policy goes, I just wanted to thank you for starting that program and bringing me home.
Well, thank you. We're glad to have you home and to have you coming back to Norfolk State University. Nutrition is an important area, for universities to have curricular offerings in. And we think that, that's the kind of program that we're going to be building in. And the allied health area is really one of the areas where we have capacity to grow in our curriculum, and we will.
Thank you so much for that call. Christine, Roger joins us from Hampton. Hi, Roger.
Yes, how you doing, Barbara?
Okay.
Good afternoon, Dr. Atwater.
Good afternoon.
Everything I've read about you has been totally amazing. I just want to ask you one fun question. Everything's been so serious this afternoon. What's one thing that you want to do at the university that nobody's done? Private school, like a little prep school, a chapel. What's one mark that you want to leave at the end of the day and say, you know what, I did that?
I think what I'd like to do, and one of the things I'm working on, is a presidential initiative called the Spartan Crusade for Academic Success. It is a multi-pronged initiative aimed at increasing the college completion rate, of Norfolk State University students, and it will involve multiple partners at pre-K through 12 through 6, middle grades, and high school. The Spartan Crusade for Academic Success, otherwise known as SCAS, is designed to increase our retention rates and our graduation rates to a level that will be something that will make the faculty and the university community proud. That's what I would like to do.
I wanted to talk with you, speaking of retention rates, about particularly for African-American males, because that is a big issue. Right now, your campus is almost 2-to-1, male to female. One of my producers said, oh, my gosh, I'd love to, I guess the guys are having a ball, but but trying to get black males to stay and to come and then to stay.
That is a continual issue across the country, the African-American male, and trying to reach out to provide the kind of support, for African-American males to be able to have educational attainment at high school as well as college levels. It is not uncommon for that gender ratio, to be as skewed as you indicated at historically black colleges and universities. But this is an issue that must be attacked strategically, and the Spartan Crusade for Academic Success is a strategic effort to respond to that particular need as well.
We've got about 3 minutes left, and I heard that you are a poet.
I am a poet.
Talk to us about that.
Well, it's something that I do as a hobby, and it's something that I've worked at over the years, and when I get inspired by various things, experiences, events, and so on, I'll put pen to paper and pen a poem. And I'm working on a book right now of my poetry, and it's called Lifelines, Poems in the Key of Faith. And I don't know if there's going to be a publisher out there for it or not, but it has some poems that come from the heart. And I think writing poetry is, in many ways, in addition to being a hobby, an opportunity for me to kind of reflect on things that are powerful in my life that I think can be shared and appreciated by other people.
Any favorite that's off the top of your head that you want to share?
Well, the one that seems to resonate a lot with people who've seen it, is one called Captains in My Corner. Mm-hmm. And I shared it with a group of alumni regional chapter directors a couple of weekends ago, and I read the poem. It was the first time I'd actually recited the poem to a group of roughly 100 people. And I'm happy to say it was so well received. People actually came up and complimented me, and it's a powerful kind of theme, to this poem, and some people were actually in tears. Wow. Because they said that it resonated so much with their life experience. And what more can you want as a poet?
Absolutely.
But to realize that your work has touched the hearts, of readers in a powerful way.
Your wife is moving here also. She's a doctor?
Yes. Dr. Beverly Roberts Atwater, my lovely wife, is a physician with a specialty in physical medicine and rehabilitation. They call them physiatrists, and she works with people who are recovering from strokes and from hip replacements, knee replacements, and she is extremely good at what she does and extremely good at working with patients.
And I can tell you're extremely proud of her also. We will end the conversation by saying from Tom O'Neill on Facebook, he says, all the best, Dr. Atwater. And thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Tom. We really appreciate you being here with us today. We look for great things out of Norfolk State. Let us know if there are things that we can talk about here on Another View. We appreciate
thank you so much, Barbara, and please invite me back for another View program.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for something to do in Hampton Roads, Lisa Godley has some ideas.
The Urban League of Hampton Roads Young Professionals are having a flapjack breakfast and car wash fundraiser tomorrow, Saturday, July 30th from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. at the Applebee's on Virginia Beach Boulevard in Virginia Beach. Call 678-524-9570 for more information. The People of Praise Fashion Show, Sunday, August 7th at 4 p.m. at the Old Dominion University Theater. Call 757-559-7438 for more information. There's a free bike safety rodeo Tuesday, August 9th from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. at Cape Henry Collegiate School, 1320 Milldam Road in Virginia Beach. Contact Emily Joyner at gmail.com or call 757-202-5443. This has been your Community Calendar. I'm Lisa Godley.
And I hope you'll take advantage of some of the things going on here in Hampton Roads. Since she first hit the campaign trail 4 years ago, stumping for her husband, Michelle Obama has made it her mission to improve the lives of military families. The First Lady has been in Hampton Roads several times to show her support and recently toured Naval Air Station Oceana, where she spoke with military families about her latest initiative to help meet their needs.
It is great to see you. It's great to be here. You all rest yourselves. Well, I love you all. Love you all to death. We are working hard for you to make sure you know how much this country appreciates each and every one of you.
First Lady Michelle Obama isn't slowing down when it comes to making sure everyone knows about joining forces. It's an initiative she and the Vice President's wife, Jill Biden, recently launched to encourage organizations, businesses, and individuals to do more to help military families. Among those stepping up to show their support are some of the country's biggest movie studios. They've been offering special screenings for military families at bases all across America, and Hampton Roads was no exception.
Come on, Tom. Let's finish this the way we started.
Together! Mrs. Obama thanked Warner Brothers for setting up a screening of the movie Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 for the families at NAS Oceana.
It's one of the ways that this country wants to show you our gratitude for all that you've given this country and for the example that you set every day.
In addition to the private sector doing what it can to show support, Serviceman D'Angelo Harrison says seeing people showing their support for the military is just excellent.
Came here to bring my family to see Michelle Obama and to see the Harry Potter movie. It's kind of important to me that they get to see the positive side of what the military does for us. You know, they get to see all the negative stuff on TV, but this was a good opportunity to show them, and show my nephews and my daughter and my nieces who all came to visit for the summer, to show just some of the support that we do get.
Akira McFarland and her daughters, Naja and Hannah, arrived almost 4 hours before the First Lady was scheduled to speak.
I took off today for this opportunity because it was important to get the kids out, do something to let them know that as a military child, military family, we do have people that are supportive of us and want us to get to experience good opportunities.
7-year-old Naja grinned while clinging to a book with President Obama's face on the cover. She didn't get close enough for the First Lady to sign it, but was more than happy to talk about it.
It's a book about how Barack Obama was elected president and how we can help people.
The First Lady had a special message just for the children.
Over the past several years, I've had the privilege of meeting military kids across this country, so I know how extraordinary all of you all are. I've seen it. And I know that the challenges are that you face, and there are many. But I also know that these experiences in your life have given you all qualities and abilities that not everyone gets to develop at your age. These experiences have made you stronger. That I know, and I've seen it. These experiences have made you wiser and more mature. And these experiences are giving you skills that you will need to succeed in school and in life.
While in Hampton Roads, Mrs. Obama visited the summer camp on base, where she helped paint sets for the upcoming production of Annie, read the book Where the Wild Things Are, observed children in the technology room who were working on a claymation project, and even took time out to dance a little. Although the First Lady's time here wasn't long, for Akira McFarland and hundreds of others, it was a wonderful experience.
And I was very pleased to listen to Mrs. Obama and the initiatives that the Joining Forces are working on to be able to help military families support us, support the children, and get the whole United States involved.
For Another View, I'm Lisa Godley.
And we thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed our conversation with Dr. Tony Atwater. And if you'd like to hear it again or tell your friends about it, you can visit our website, which is anotherviewradio.org, and you can find the podcast. And you can also send us a message. Let us know what you think about our show. Let us know how we're doing. You can also find us on Facebook under Another View. On Monday, it's Hearsay with Kathy Lewis at the noon hour. And I'm Barbara Ham Lee, and I'll see you next Friday right here at noon for Another View.